Hey everyone, welcome to Heart Health with Michelle. Today I want to talk about the modifiable risk factors. So, heart disease is the #1 killer globally. Yet, up to 90% of heart attacks, strokes, heart disease can be prevented if we take proactive nutrition and lifestyle intervention to optimize your cardiometabolic risk profile. This is super important. We need to understand that we can change this, but we need to know what it is, why it matters, and what are our targets? What should those values be? So I want to discuss that with you today. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Michelle Rothenstein. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist who specializes in heart disease prevention and management through science-based nutrition. So let's get to it. When I say modifiable risk factors, that means you can change them. There's certain things you cannot change that may increase your risk of heart disease. But we know that if you are focusing on these modifiable risk factors and maybe keeping them to stricter standards as early as possible, that we can prevent heart disease. And we need to really recognize that there are many things that we need to optimize, and they're all in the sphere of cardiometabolic health. So when you're looking at dietary intervention and lifestyle intervention, one diet should not cause another cardiometabolic metric to rise or go in the wrong direction. They all support all of your goals to improve all of these values to really ensure we're protecting your blood vessel health, your vascular function, your endothelial lining, your heart health to reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease. So we want to make sure that we are looking at lipids. We want to make sure that your LDL cholesterol is really targeted along with your apolipoprotein B. That ApoB is a direct surrogate marker for atherogenic cholesterol. And depending on your risk factors, so if you have a high lipoprotein A, if you have a calcium score above 0, if you have known plaque in your arteries or a strong family history, we're really looking at driving that number lower than the general standards. And so you need to really speak with your healthcare team to ensure that your parameters of what we're targeting are designed for you based on your risk profile. And this really goes with all cardiometabolic risk factors. And that's where personalized science really takes a role, especially when it comes to heart health. So lipids, so your LDL, your ApoB is important. Your triglycerides, we want triglycerides to be less than 100 milligrams per deciliter. Super important to look at all of those. Lipids are one part of the picture, though. We also need to be looking at underlying inflammation. I like to check hsCRP, some labs call it cardio-CRP, for underlying inflammation and really targeting that to be less than 1. Super important so that we are making sure that if there's inflammation, when you have inflammation and you have that cholesterol that's atherogenic, that can cause more plaque to form in the arteries more aggressively. So really addressing that and assessing where's the inflammation coming from. Is it from diet? Is it from acid reflux? Is it from an autoimmune condition that may not be controlled? If you have an inflammatory condition, as long as it's controlled, we can target that value and get it where we need it to be. We also are looking at blood pressure. I can't tell you how many people test their blood pressure only one time in the doctor's office, if that. And if it's high, the doctor may say, oh, it's borderline high, and maybe you're anxious in the office. And then you go your merry way and you go another year and another year, and the same thing is being told to you, but you don't check it at home. And that could be dangerous. High blood pressure is actually the cause for many heart-related and vascular issues, from AFib to your heart failure to even plaque formation, because high blood pressure, even borderline, can cause a tear in the artery wall, leading to more plaque to form in there. So I want to make sure that you are testing your blood pressure at home and ideally getting to 110/70. That's really ideal. Less than 120/80 is acceptable, but borderline high, so 130/80, we do see structural changes in the arteries. So please be sure to check your blood pressure at home. Really important. We also want to make sure that blood sugar levels, insulin levels are all optimal. Insulin resistance happens a decade or so before hemoglobin A1C or diabetes metrics increase. So we need to target it and make sure that we are addressing it, because when insulin levels are high, free fatty acids are more prevalent in the arteries, leading to more potential inflammation and plaque formation as well. We want to address abdominal adiposity. So this is the weight around your abdominal region. It is not your pant size. sides, it's where your belly button is. So I always encourage individuals to get one of those measuring tapes and don't suck in, don't suck out, but measure your waist circumference. Generally speaking, for women, that should be less than 35 inches. For men, it should be less than 40 inches. In the general population, certain ethnicities need stricter guidelines. So that may be that you need, if you're South Asian, it's about 2 inches less in both women and men as a target. We want to also assess your diet. Is it high in saturated fat? Is it low in viscous fiber? Is it balanced? Do you have lean protein, complex carbs? Do you have heart healthy fats in the right amounts and in the right timing of eating to allow for optimal utilization and metabolism? We want to assess your physical activity. If you're smoking, excessively drinking, those can also be modifiable risk factors as well. We also need to check homocysteine levels. A lot of the population has the MTHFR gene and they don't know. But if we check your homocysteine levels and they're high, we can easily fix it with methylated B supplementation. So super important that we are looking at all of these metrics and really taking a whole person approach to optimizing them. This includes science-based nutrition, whether you're on medication or not. It includes continuously monitoring these values and making sure they stay in the optimal range that's designed for you based off of your risk profile. I always encourage you to speak with your healthcare team for all of heart health advice and personalization. Make sure that a registered dietitian who specializes in heart disease is part of your support team if you have cardiovascular disease or if you're at risk or if you need help with addressing any of these components of optimal heart health. I hope this was helpful. For more information, you can read my blog post called What is Coronary Artery Disease? And I have a lot of nutritional tips that are on my website, on my Instagram page, on my YouTube page. So make sure you follow me on all those platforms, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and feel free to share this with someone who can use this information and potentially save a life. I hope this was helpful. Feel free to reach out to me at michelle@entirelynourished.com if you're looking for more support on your heart health journey. I have one-on-one programs, I have group programs, and I'd be more than happy to help guide and support you. Hope you're having a great day, and we will talk again soon.